Hi and welcome to EMAX Bowling. Today I'm in the pro shop because I'm working on my grip. As some of you might know, I changed my grip earlier this year, basically because I felt like I had to try something new. So let's go through it and I'll tell you what changes I've made, why I've made them, and how I feel they're working out for me. So this was my old grip. And that's what I've been using for a few years now. So it's been okay, but again, I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be, so I had to change something, and I figured try changing the grip isn't a bad thing to experiment with. This is my new span. This is what I've been using for the last couple months. I started using this in May. And the big thing here is I added 3/16 on each finger, making my span a little bit longer. I feel like this has made it so that instead of feeling like all the weight of the ball is on my thumb, it's more spread out over my entire hand, which I like that feeling. Pitch-wise, I added an eighth to, or I added a half to my middle finger reverse pitch. I needed more reverse pitch than I had on my old grip, and then because of the longer span I added a little bit extra. So, and I added an eighth on my ring finger. I've had some issues with my ring finger, I'll show you in a minute, but yeah, so that's why I use so much pitch on that finger. My lateral pitches changed a little bit with the new span here, and then instead of being quarter left and 0 in the thumb, I went to 0 left and an eighth reverse to compensate for the span being longer. So I really like this. I like the way the ball sits on my hand, the way it comes off my hand. So that's a big positive here. There is one little drawback though, and I think I need to work on the pitches a little bit more, so I'll explain. So basically for the past 10-15 years I've been dealing with some issues with my fingernails. So it all started out with them actually being really bad, and they would crack and fall off, so a lot of times I would be bowling with only half of my fingernail on there, which is quite painful, but that was how it was until figured out I need to change my pitches, change my span, and that kind of took probably somewhere between 80 and 90% of the problems away. But with my new longer span here, I think I haven't got the pitches exactly right, so this is kind of what my fingers look like right now. My ring finger, this one, is quite sore, so there's too much pressure on the fingers basically, which tells me I probably just need to add a little more reverse pitch on the fingers. It happens when you change your grip, you don't get the pitches right all at once, so that's what I'm gonna do today. So in this altered reality, everything's the same as my new grip, so to speak, and the only things I've changed is I've added an eighth more reverse on the middle finger and a quarter more reverse on the ring finger. So I'm now at 7/8 and 1 1/4 inches reverse on my fingers. So that hopefully should take some of the stress off the fingers and let me bowl pain-free again and change that. So that's the first experiment. So the second experiment is this Nova, where I'm, again, same span as the normal grip, staying with the same reverse pitches as the altered reality, 7/8 and 1 1/4, but then instead of going with the lateral pitches, side-to-side pitches that I have been using the last couple months, which was half and quarter, I'm going back to my old pitches, side-to-side pitches, which was 5/8 and 1/8. This is simply just to see if there's a difference, and because I kind of feel like the way I put my fingers into the ball, they tend to be directed a little more to the left. So I'm going to try that, and I'm going to see what feels better between the altered reality here and the Nova. So let's go down to the lanes and watch me throw them for a little bit. So just to summarize, the RSTX2 is my normal span, Altered Reality is the extra reverse pitch, and Nova is the extra reverse pitch plus the old lateral pitches. So first impression after throwing balls for about 20 minutes, I definitely feel when I'm using the RSTX2, which has my normal span, I'm feeling more pressure on my fingers in my stance and throughout the swing. And when I'm releasing the ball, I sometimes feel a little push on my ring fingernail. So there's definitely some pressure going on there. Compared to the Nova and the Altered Reality with the extra reverse pitch, it definitely feels different when I put my hand in the ball. I don't have the same pressure on my fingers. Throughout the swing I don't really feel my fingers, and when I release the ball it more just falls off of my ring finger rather than there being that little bit of pressure. So I think the extra reverse pitch is definitely the right direction. I'm not quite sure about the lateral roll with the difference between the Altered and the Nova. I have to throw them a little bit more to see if I can actually feel a difference between those two. Right now I can't, but it's also early, so I'm not 100% sure what my exact permanent change is gonna be, but I feel like these extra reverse on the fingers is something that's gonna be the main change, and I just gotta practice a little bit more with the balls, with the pitches, and see how it feels, how my fingers feel when I put some more shots on them. So, but right now I feel I'm pretty happy with the feel I'm getting, and I think it's gonna take off some of the pressure and some of the irritation to my fingers, so they can start looking a little more normal. We'll see. I'll try them out a little bit more and decide. So make sure to subscribe. If you want, I can do a follow-up with what I decide and whatever. And yeah, so subscribe and leave me a comment, and I'll do a follow-up video if you want to.